In one of the songs on the album, which became a hit for yourself and was covered by other artists, Inner City Blues, you stated that they make you want to holler. And I'm wondering if you have felt, because of your success, a separation from the Inner City Blues, or does that make you feel more poignantly attached to them?
Well, being successful has nothing to do with it. I am probably very rich. And I'm supposed to be rich. I'm rich because it was prophesied that I'd be rich. If I didn't have any money, I'd be rich. I'm rich in many things, and I'm one man who could survive with or without money. People like me, I like people. People respect and love me because I give love, I give respect. I wouldn't have any trouble finding food or things to eat with how I feel about life and people. I love. If you're ill, I'll come to your aid. I don't care who you are, what you are, you know. And I love. And I'm rich because I'm blessed. God loves me. I love God. I try to do his work as I feel I'm supposed to, the best of my ability. And as a result, he blesses me. I feel that I could be anything. I could be a monk. I could be a sinner. I could be anything. I'm not a pious person. I don't want to give off that. I enjoy life. I enjoy all the things you guys enjoy. It's only how you enjoy them, how you approach that enjoyment. If you approach it with honesty and some kind of respect for those powers that are greater than thou, then you always come out on the winning side. That's the point.
You mentioned O.J. Simpson before, and I can't help but remember reading that you had a couple of Detroit Lions football players on the session of What's Going On. Is that true?
Yeah, those guys, man, them football players are really far out. I love sports, man. I love football. I could have been I feel like, I know I'm waving my flag a lot with this interview, but I can't help it because Muhammad Ali said if you can do it, it's not bragging. But I feel athlete, you know. I could have played pro ball. I catch good. I'm a good runner, and as we all are.
Well, I can do great Z patterns myself. I'm actually wondering what it was like having those guys in the studio. How did you achieve that party atmosphere?
All that was achieved for me. It just so happens that the protectors and those who are in power and control sought them out for me. My job was simple. I just directed them. When they told me who to seek out, I didn't know. I didn't hear any voice tell me, go seek out Lynn Barney and Mel Farr and Bobby Rogers of the Miracles. He was quite loquacious. And I sought them out, and I brought them in the studio, and they were just perfect. Hey, man, what's happening? Hey, baby, so, yeah. They slapped hands and everything. This is great, you know. Just what I wanted. And football players are very good about talking it up and getting the old conversation because, man, they're full of energy and they can really do it anyway. You just have to hold down the profanity. So I told them, I didn't know they were on national. They were going to be on record. They didn't say any cuss words or anything. Of course, us being men and all, we can stand that sort of thing when we're in the locker room before the game.
Hey, what's happening? Brother, this is a cool big party, man. Yeah, I can dig it. Stop. Right on.
Their single and yours, What's Going On, was such a big hit, and so was the album, that people had a lot of expectations for your next work, and you either delayed it for 2 years or did something else that no one ever heard of for a while, and then came out with Let's Get It On. Was it actually that long in the conception, or were you doing something else?
Well, that was all political. I wasn't motivated. My royalty statement didn't motivate me to do another album.
But What's Going On sold so many. Where did it all go?
Heaven only knows. I certainly don't. My statement didn't show, any tremendous sales or anything. So it slowed me down for my next project because I was sitting around incensed and mad and angry. When I get that way, I just won't do anything.
And so you didn't.
I don't have any other weapon. It's my only weapon.
If Barry has been occasionally as bad to you as you may be suggesting, why did you never
suggested that? Never did I suggest Barry's been bad to me. Where do you get that? I never said that. Barry's been a Tim. Motown did that to me.
There is a difference.
I'm sure there is. There must be.
Well, Let's Get It On was the first successful album which dealt entirely with the pleasures of sex and sensuality.
Really?
Outside of Rusty Warren's comedy album, Knockers Up.
Knockers Up. I did hear that. I'd love to hear it.
But I had always liked Ed Townsend's record, For Your Love.
Yes, Ed was a great singer, and a great writer, too. Funny guy. He'll tell you the mule joke, he'll kill you.
Was that how you first heard him?
Yeah, anybody first hears Ed telling them a joke.
Well, I was so curious because Ed's big hit was 1957. He did Theola Kilgore in the early 60s, and then suddenly here he is, turning up with you in 1973. How did you find him out?
Well, I've known Ed for many years, and Ed and I have been good friends for years, and gee, when Ed came and told me the idea for a song called Let's Get It On, I knew immediately and instinctively that the phrase alone, the term alone was a smash term, Let's Get It On, so, and then he sat and played the melody for me, and I knew the melody was beautiful, and then I did the lyric. It worked.
Let's Get It On was a tremendous seller. The single sold at a historic rate as far as Motown was concerned. I hope you got it.
Rate? Really? I didn't know that either.
Are you being serious?
Well, I'm very serious. These peanuts have got me not talking properly, but I'm very serious.
It sold 2 million in 6 weeks.
I didn't know that.
It also is one of the 30 top singles of the rock era, according to Billboard magazine, which therefore makes me wonder how closely in touch you are with your own, shall we say, business success.
Well, I just know that my Let's Get It On royalty statement didn't reflect that.
Okay. Now, did you feel after that album that there was any more exploration to be done along the lines of the
Sex?
subject?
Oh, yeah. Well, not particularly. With the I Want You album, I didn't know where to take the album on a conceptual basis. And after exhausting a couple of possibilities, I found that the music lent itself to sex more than any other subject, which is simply my only reason for tainting it in a sexual manner.
I Want You was a unified album, and I can't help but see that all of your work in the 70s has been a project, that is, individual projects. And gone are the days when you would release unrelated singles, shall we say. Do you ever think you would get back to doing singles?
Well, do you think you would like to hear more of that sort of thing? I'm asking you the question in this case because I'm interested, and I know you get a pulse of what people like, and I would be interested in the answer because the business isn't going there, you know. The business has sophisticated itself to the point where singles are almost taboo in the industry. I mean, nobody cuts any singles anymore. Very few artists cut singles. They cut albums, and if they don't have enough singles in the album, they probably won't even put it out unless the one single is strong enough. You know, it's albums. You buy the albums, or you don't buy a single. No distributor will order a bunch of singles anymore. Very few. I don't know about in England, but in the States, that's the way it is.
But if you look at your hits in the 60s, many of them were completely unrelated to each other in subject matter, even perhaps in a musical framework.
I could do that with singles, but I can't do that with albums, because if I did, I'd be putting out 6, 7 albums a year. I could put out 4 or 5 singles a year, unrelated, every 3 months. Well, let's say every 3, 6, yeah. Put out 4 singles easily a year, unrelated, but 4 albums is an awful chore. You see the difference?
Yes, and I'm just wondering if you don't miss having singles, and evidently you don't.
Well, because you... No, you don't miss having singles because you make so much more money off of the albums. You know, no artist is going to put out singles and make $1. You can put out an album and make 25 or 30.
Did you seriously think that you might actually have a hit single as you did off of the Trouble Man film score?
The Trouble Man film score was one of my loveliest projects and one of the great sleepers of all our time. I'll probably be dead and gone before I get the probable acclaim from the Trouble Man album musical track that I feel I should get. Put to a symphony. If someone took my album and did a symphony on it, I think it would be quite interesting. And the gentlemen who arranged it are symphonic-minded people, and they did it in that manner. I have written a symphony that I have in my bench, and I won't give away until people treat me properly. Or it'll be there when I'm dead and gone, and my children can exploit it, or whatever financial gains they might derive from it, I'd rather anyway. Which is what I do with most of my music that I won't have published. It's for my children and their children. By any event, I enjoyed that job immensely. I enjoyed writing a film score. I'd love to do more. I can do film scores, but I enjoyed that. There were a lot of problems with it, but we overcame them. I think that's some of my finer work. Trouble Man.
How did you come into contact with Leon Ware for the I Want You album?
I'd known Leon a little while. Leon was teaming up with Diana Ross's brother, T-Boy, who's quite prolific with his writings. Both of them are. And did a song many years ago called For the Babies. I liked them when I heard that song, and I've liked them ever since. I just met them occasionally at a party or a press party, something like that, many years ago. And when I heard the album, which Barry suggested that I do, and he had me up to his place to listen to it, and I thought it was terrific, and I told him, I said, well, he said, this is some stuff Leon did. Do you want to do it? You know, I think you should. You haven't done anything, and, you know, you won't do anything, and you're not going to produce anything on yourself, so just do this. Leon's done the music, so let's see if you can do it. So I listened, and I gave him a decision. I thought the stuff was good. And so I did it, consequently, the I Want You album.
Now, is that an example of what you're talking about when you say your voice has improved? Because it seems that this is almost an entirely different phase of the same man singing from those early 60s hits.
No, it's just how I wanted to sing this album. Muhammad wants to fight a different fight sometimes. I want to sing different on an album. I just refuse to just be the old Marvin Gaye everybody knows and right on in the pockets. You know, I'm a lot of people and a lot of things, and I just have to express all of me, you know. And a lot of people might get upset, but then a lot of people admire me for it, too, because at least there's one thing that my fans can look forward to, that I'll be different. You know, what I'll do But it won't be like the last thing. I can guarantee you that.